What's good, everybody? Welcome in to the Early Edge, your daily sports betting brand of record. We are powered, as always, by the almighty SportsLine, the best value in all of sports betting. And it's not close. I'm your boy, the coach, just trying to keep this train on the track. We have a very, very busy day at the brand, as always. But first, we must look backwards before we move forwards. Last night, kind of a ho-hum day, but your boy was profitable. Plus 134, Orioles and Rays. The Miami Heat, 45 minutes from where I'm sitting right now. You couldn't get the job done. You couldn't show up against the Atlanta Hawks. T-Wolves, kind of a 210, 216. Nobody hit those last night. But today, very busy day. If you haven't watched Early Wedge yet, it's in your feed live right now. The RBC Heritage is tomorrow morning. Check that out. Also, later today, Early Edge at 5 at 4 p.m. Eastern Time, more best bets. And then CBS Sports HQ. I told you, Early Edge is taking over. I will be on at 1:45 p.m. Eastern Time, 3:10 p.m. Eastern Time. Then me and him squared together from 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. Eastern tonight. CBS Sports HQ. It's all free all the time. With all that being said, let's bring in the stars of the show. Because on a Bounce Back Wednesday, what do? We don't go smaller. We get bigger. 6 wide with 5 of my absolute very best. Now, the man I just told you I'll be together with in about 8 hours. He is live from Nashville, Tennessee, the penthouse level. M Squared, good morning, sir.
Good morning, Coach. Good morning, everybody out there. I don't get to see the chat as often with the new setup here, but I saw it this morning. Someone said, finally lost one. That means we can start the season now that we've actually got a loss on the board. But I'm ready to go today. Fired up. Love day baseball. As you guys know, huge day slate today.
I never understand. Speaking of the chat, somebody just wrote there, Mikey, we got killed with that White Sox team total last night. Killed? Really? One game killed you? You better reassess how you do things if one game killed your day. All right, next. Live. Oh, and just look at that little smirk on his face. From parts unknown, Propstarz. Good morning.
Good morning, Coach. Good morning, gentlemen. I'm fired up. We've reached the point of the NBA season where all of these games, all of these possessions are meaningful. Wild night in the association last night. Tonight, the stakes are even higher. It is win or go home. I am fired up.
That's exactly right. And last night, you started to feel the tension a little bit in those games. Imagine what tonight's going to be like. Next, he is the counselor of cash, the very man that tonight we'll be toasting a cocktail together, and I'm excited for it. But we got to cash tickets first. Sia Nejad. Good morning, sir.
We got to cash tickets first. We're coming off some nice wins, a nice little run with those first 5 in Major League Baseball. We're going to do it again today. I'm really looking forward to it, and I can't wait to talk some NBA too.
Now, yesterday, I was sitting in a little office down here in Florida, and somebody walks by, and they said, hey, Coach, I need to talk to you. I said, what do you need to talk to me about? They said, this new guy, Amags, he seems pretty good. Is he going to be long-term? I said, I certainly hope so. And look who's here this morning. Live from New York City, Amags, good morning.
What's going on, Coach? I'm excited to be here. And, I see buckets there. And I really, the other day when he put out that soccer play, I followed him. I was excited for it. And it didn't hit. But you know what I said to him? Don't worry, we've got the early wedge tomorrow, and that's what we did. So I would put anyone in the chat, go look at the early wedge. It was an awesome show this week, and we'll cash those tickets again this weekend. So,
you know what? It kind of pains me that you're having conversations with buckets outside of this space. I don't even know where that could lead. I don't want to know where that could lead. And finally, you already mentioned him today. It's Champions League for the second day in a row. And yesterday, here at CBS, the incredible network that we get to work for, they launched Galazzo, a brand new 24-hour, 7-day-a-week, all soccer, all the time. That's what we're about at Paramount Plus. Synergy. Buckets, good morning.
Good morning, Coach. I feel like I just caught a stray from Amags there, bringing up my losing ticket from last week, but that's fine. We know that he's new here. We're not going to be upset about that. We're dialing in on these big UCL matchups this afternoon. Got a great pick for you later on in the show.
Wait a second. Did you just say we know he's new here? Did you just say that?
I think No, didn't sound like something I'd say.
Wow. Bucket says, we know he's new here, so I'll give him a pass. I'll give Amags a pass. Basically what you just said. That's what you just said. My goodness. The ego on buckets these days. All right. Introductions are done. We got to get down to business. And you know that incredibly popular game called Fade or Follow. 2 NBA games tonight. And last night, were they exciting? No. Were they tension-filled? Yes. And this is what we have tonight. This is the 9-10. Whoever loses tonight, they're gone. Bulls, Raptors, 5.5. Total 212.5. That's low. And then we've got the Thunder and the Pelicans live from the Big Easy. I'll be in New Orleans next week. 5.5. 227 is the total there. So M Squared, I'm coming to you first on game number 1. How are you assessing the Bulls and the Raptors, sir?
Yeah, I'm looking at this game, and look, it's two teams that really kind of underperformed at this point in the season. Both had the upside to really be teams that were firmly in the playoffs. As far as the game goes, though, I like the Chicago side with the points, plus 5.5 here. I make the number down to 2.5. I simply think it's going to be a 1-possession game here. Looking at the way both of these teams are going to play, we're going to see this game settle into a half-court possession game. You're going to see a ton of ISO. You're going to see a ton of shot attempts from DeMar DeRozan. It's going to lead itself to a competitive game, but one that I think is ultimately decided on the final possession.
I think that's a great analysis. Sia, do you agree with that?
It's so funny because as everybody knows, Mike McClure and I do Fantasy Football Today DFS together. And I think we're of one mind at this point because I was literally, if you asked me first, I was going to say this line should be 3. And here Mike is saying it should be 2.5. So I'm getting closer to Mike here. But the point is, this is too many points. I mean, I spoiler alert, I kind of like both dogs here. I think it's too many points, but Chicago's a really good team. They're really competitive. I think sometimes the Pelicans are too reliant on Ingram. But I think the Bulls have so much they can hit you with. And I like what they've done with Patrick Beverley. I don't think he's a good player, but just defensively, they've got a different kind of attitude. I think that's going to help them. So give me the Bulls and the points.
If nothing else, this play-in has brought back that incredible video of Pat Beverley celebrating last year like they had just won the NBA championship and they had won the play-in. It was hilarious. But that's Pat Beverley in a nutshell. So we're fading, Mikey and Sia, the favorite here. Propstarz, let me come to you. Are you fading or following the Raptors as 5.5-point favorites?
I have a slight lean towards Toronto, surprisingly, in this spot. They're a much better home team than away team. Chicago's a much worse road team than home team. They've also struggled against Nick Nurse. Nick Nurse is a very good playoff coach. I think there's a big edge in that department. So I actually like Toronto and the points here.
All right, we got 2 fades. We have 1 follow, but that's the early game. And last night we saw a 5-point favorite not even win the game on the court. Miami Heat, where are you at? Well, you're waiting for the loser or winner of this game. That's where you're at. Now, Thunder and Pelicans, they would love to stay alive as well. See, I'm coming right back to you. Pelicans are 5.5. They've been really good the last month of the season. But this is one game. Your thoughts?
Yeah, and apologies because I jumped the gun on Ingram because obviously he is playing the Oklahoma City Thunder. And again, I like the dog here. Like I said, I just think they're a little too reliant on Ingram. I think it's a really good team. I think the Pelicans end up winning this game, but 5.5 is too many. So I'm on both dogs here.
All right, fading the Pelicans. Mikey, what say you?
Yeah, I'm going to be the same direction as Sia here. Again, I think that this one you can make it 3.5, not quite down to 3 or 2, but Oklahoma City's definitely live in this spot. This team's got so much upside. Wasn't really expected to be here at this point, especially some of the injury concerns they had early in the season. But what I look at here is Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. He's definitely going to be able to get to the rim and score at will in this game if he needs to. Josh Giddey, the guy gets better literally every single day. This team is still so incredibly young. And then you've got Lou Dort defensively. He's an absolute menace. He can make life difficult for either Ingram or CJ McCollum in this spot. So it's going to take a really big game from CJ McCollum to really cover this kind of number. I'm not sure we're going to see it, so I'll take the 5.5 with Oklahoma City.
You used the word young for the Oklahoma City Thunder. They've never been a lot of these players to the playoffs before. That's what tonight will feel like, because essentially that's what it is. So we have 1 fade, we have 1 follow. Proppy, break the tie.
It's rare for me to disagree with my brilliant, esteemed colleagues, but I am going again with the home favorite here. I like the Pelicans. I just think it's a bit too early for these Oklahoma City Thunder. These guys are all inexperienced. I really was impressed with how the Pelicans played down the stretch, particularly defensively. I like the Pelicans tonight.
All right, Pelicans from the Big Easy. My girl Karen in the chat, she said it best this morning. It was looking grim for me yesterday. Then I ended up $5 up. Up is up. It's not losing. On to another winning day. Karen, I say it all the time. We're just trying to win more than we lose. Some hate that saying. I don't care. I'm with you. Now, I told you, we're dominating CBS Sports HQ. From start to finish, every single day, including today, we're here.
Get breaking news,
Big news coming out of the NFL today.
highlights, and instant reactions.
The largest final round comeback in Ford championship history. We're down to the final four.
I just want to take time to analyze greatness.
Talk winners and losers with a guy who's already a big winner.
CBS Sports HQ. It's all sports all day long.
And do not think for 1 second that yesterday when I walked into the offices here in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, that the first stop I made was to the boss of CBS Sports HQ. And I said, we are not the B team. I do not want to hear from Big Cheesy 707 even one more time. I said that. Now, it's time to play Pick the Prop. So I see Sia, Mikey, Amags, but we know that the man who dominates this section is Buckets. So, Buckets, I would love for you to start for me. Yordan Alvarez, Ryan Mountcastle. Last night he had 9 RBIs. Plus 425. And then Wander Franco plus 800. Buckets, your thoughts on playing Pick the Prop today for us, sir?
Coach, I know that you would love for me to start, but I'll be honest, I don't really care what you would love today. I've already shown that I know my stuff with my Jorge Solar home run dinger, went the yard, whatever you want to call it. I've proven myself in the baseball world. Let me focus on soccer for a bit, okay? You're ruining my flow. We have Champions League this afternoon. I've got my own section already later in the show. I'm just going to sit this one out. You do your thing, though. Have fun with it.
What?
Shots fired.
Shots fired? Somebody's going to get fired. I can tell you that, Proppy. What the hell was that? Ruining your flow? Oh, my God. I've created an absolute monster. I'll get back to you in a second. Have your own section. Yes, stop it. All right, M squared. Of these three different price points, Mountcastle, I guarantee you nobody's ever heard of this cat. You will by the end of the season. He's a beast. Who do you like today to go yard?
It is one Ryan Mountcastle. I like this matchup a ton. I really want to pick on the A's pitcher here, Ken Waldichuk. This might be the last time we get to see him in the rotation. This cat's given up 7 home runs already this season so far, and that was in 2 pretty good pitching environments overall. Pretty strong hitting environment tonight here in this particular spot. He also has the added benefit of he's still going to be getting pitched to because of the hitters around him, most notably Adley Rutschman. This is a great spot for Mountcastle. Love the price point. To your credit, it's the name value. Any other player or later in the season, this number is going to be 325, 350.
My man knows his stuff. 7 home runs against the pitcher he's facing today. Do you want to do that work? I didn't think so. See ya. Talk to me.
I'll say this. I grew up an Orioles fan, and I would want nothing more than for them to be relevant just for a season or 2 in a row. I'm going to go with Yordan, otherwise known as Yordan Alvarez against Rich Hill. I mean, I just think it's a really nice matchup. Rich Hill, I don't think he has much left in the tank, and I think Yordan Alvarez is going to take advantage of it.
All right, Proppy, this is your yard. This is where you shine. Opportunities. Who do you like here?
I'm going with Sia, Coach. I like Yordan Alvarez as well. He's going to get 2 or 3 cracks at the ancient Rich Hill. I think I could potentially hit off Rich Hill at this stage of his career. So give me Yordan Alvarez.
That is hilarious. You probably could. All right, the chat is popping. Grow Up says, Coach got bucketed.
No.
Buckets laid the smackdown on Coach, says Sean Wilson. So I'm about to call you out, Buckets. You just bragged 2 minutes ago. You said, I've got my own section. I'm doing my own thing. I called the powers that be. That's what you said. Prove it. You have your own section? Show me a graphic. Show me anything that you actually made a call to do your own section today. I dare you.
Jake, if you don't mind. Welcome to the first ever Pick the Prop for soccer here, Coach. You are welcome to play along if you want. But we're looking through 3 different anytime goal scorers in the Champions League game this afternoon between Real Madrid and Chelsea. We've got Vinicius Jr. at plus 220, Kai Havertz at plus 333, and of course, Ballon d'Or winner Karim Benzema at plus 100. I think that all 3 of these players do have value, but you cannot ignore the form that Ballon d'Or winner and one of the greatest strikers on earth, Karim Benzema, is in right now. This number should never be plus odds. I do not care who their opponent is. He has 14 goals and 18 starts domestically. He has 3 goals in his last 2 Champions League games against Liverpool. And in his last 3 domestic games, he has 2 hat tricks, including one against Real Valladolid and one against Barcelona. He scored 3 times against Barcelona. We need him to score once against a broken Chelsea side. At plus odds, that is absolutely going to be my pick here, Coach.
Say that pick one more time, please.
Karim Benzema, anytime goal scorer at plus 100.
For Real Madrid playing Chelsea today, where can we watch that game?
Paramount Plus.
Synergy. Now, the chat seems to love what you're doing right now. Me, not so much. CID says buckets, headlocks. Head looks like the... If you're going to write an insult, write it correctly so I can read it. All right. Bottom line is they agree with you, and I'm actually shocked that you even know the number of Snake or that he would pick up the phone. That's shocking to me. But he did, and you gave me great information, so I can't be hot about that. Doing his own section. What are we doing? All right. Now, we're about to get to our picks for the day. We've got a full board, and again, early edge and 5 at 4 p.m. But as I told you yesterday, it was a very big day here at this network for this very reason.
Absolutely magisterial here.
Golazo! Maybe that's why your head's so big today, Buckets. Maybe that's why you have an ego today, because you have your own network that's coming out.
Coach, can I interrupt your flow quickly?
Of course, you always can. Always.
All right. Just because we're betting home run props and people saw him on the board there, Yordan Alvarez is not in the lineup this morning for the Astros. It is a very early start time. The reason why I want to talk about it, though, is because it is still incredibly likely that he will pinch hit. So I don't want people to go bet the home run prop because it normally would void if he doesn't play. However, if he pinch hits, gets 1 at bats, you're obviously playing an incredibly bad number on that home run prop. So if you haven't already put it in, do not put it in. If you have, see if you can buy out, see if they let you cash out. But do not play Yordan Alvarez because he is not in the lineup.
Educate, entertain.
But he is so good that he will likely get 1 plate appearance. So that's normally it's not a big deal. Normally they're out of the lineup. They're not going to play. He's probably still going to get 1 at bat.
And that's a big deal for your ticket. Clearly. Buckets, that's how you ruin a flow. That's how you ruin a flow. All right, let's get to our board for the day. And it's a very, very busy day. And again, here at CBS, we're all in on soccer. We're all in on the Champions League. It's incredibly exciting. So, Buckets, I'm going to allow you to go first today. And there's been one team that has been unbelievably dominant. And I could not believe the number when I saw it. Are you picking them today?
Coach, it looks like you and I, for once, are on the same page here because you are, of course, talking about Real Madrid versus Chelsea. Real Madrid are the reigning champs of Europe. They won the Champions League last year. They're the team that possessed one of the greatest strikers on earth, recent Ballon d'Or winner, Karim Benzema, who does, again, have 2 hat tricks in his last 3 games. This is a team playing at home in Madrid at Bernabeu Stadium, which is an incredibly difficult place to travel to and to play. This is a Madrid side that should be a minus 250 considering they're playing a Chelsea side that has not won in their last 3 games, has not scored in their last 3 games, and lost to Wolverhampton Wolves and Aston Villa. This is a broken Chelsea side. And for some reason, we're getting Real Madrid at minus 140 on the money line. I know that it's not some sexy plus odds play, but this is still a really, really strong Madrid side versus a broken Chelsea side. Chelsea spent 600 million pounds rebuilding their squad. They went through 2 owners and 3 managers just to be sitting in the bottom half of the EPL table. This is ridiculous value for a first leg at home, considering that I think Real Madrid might end up scoring 3 in this first leg, Coach.
I think so too. I was shocked. I normally don't bet big on soccer. This one, I'm thinking about maybe 2 or 3 units. That's how mispriced this is. Now, I love the chat. You guys know I love the chat. I love all of you. But right now, we're having a discussion on whether or not CID wrote the insult correctly. Is that what we're doing right now? All right, Snug the Cat. What does my career come to? Snug the Cat. He wrote, M squared doing the Lord's work, saving us all from ourselves. That's what M squared does. I paraphrase because there's way too many of you in the chat. It just goes by so fast. You guys are amazing. But he does do the Lord's work, we believe. So M squared, if you don't mind, you're up next.
All right, Coach. We got another team total here. This one has been on the move a lot this morning. I played the Padres. Excuse me. Over 3.5 runs, -140. It has moved. It is up to 4 or 4.5 in some spots. Still 3.5s at -150 out there. I do still like that price point. So where I've got it at in the computer, 62% of the time over 3.5. That implies -164. Meaning I am okay playing this number all the way up to -164. I would not go above that. If you can play 4, you keep the same push condition on my win. When you get to 4.5, I would like to see at least +120 because my win condition can still be a loss condition for you. So that is a very, very different situation. However, let's get to the game. Love the Padres in this spot. I want to pick on the Mets pitcher, McGill. He's been fine at times, but he's really struggled with one thing, and that is left-handed hitting. We've now got a 3-year sample size basically for his career. 400 weighted on base average allowed to lefties, 2.44 home runs per 9 innings to lefties. Neither one of those marks is going to keep you in Major League Baseball for very long. Now, this Padres team, when they play at Petco, they typically get to have a positive park shift anytime they leave home and really in that division for half of the division. They play in some pretty poor parks. Today at Citi Field, extremely good hitting environment for this time of year. Love the Padres here to score a 4th run in this game. They've got several lefty bats in the lineup that I like. All the stars are in the lineup. Let's go Padres for a 4th run.
And the beautiful part, when you've got 15 games on a Wednesday, that Major League Baseball has done something very nice for us. And today, this game would be classified in Mikey's favorite category, which M squared is what?
Day baseball, Coach. We've got day baseball. We almost have morning baseball, definitely if you're on the West Coast. But we've got, I call it morning baseball because there's a game even here in Central Time with a first pitch before noon. It's beautiful.
Boom. It's beautiful. It's his favorite thing. You got to get to know him. Follow him on social media. He does all of it. Now, we've got buckets. We've done M squared. Where do I go next? Well, I got something very special planned for somebody to see how he handles the pressure. So, Proppy, he's been in all of the smoke. He gets it all, so it doesn't matter where he goes. Propstarz, what do you like tonight? Because I have a feeling we're going to the NBA. Am I right?
We are going to the hardwood, Coach. I am going OG Anunoby over 15.5 points. There is a lot to like about this prop. First off, this is a friendly number. OG averages 16.8 points per game. One component that I really like is Nick Nurse's coaching track history in the playoffs. Not only does he condense the rotation, but he plays his starters up to 40 to 45 minutes in this game. So OG is going to be, barring foul trouble, on the court for basically this entire game. Will probably play the entire second half. Furthermore, he has the best individual matchup. The Bulls really struggle defending the perimeter. They're one of the worst three-point defenses in the NBA. That's where OG gets the majority of his points. He has a very good history against the Bulls as well. He's clipped this total in 5 of his 6 previous game against Chicago, including 2 games this season. Also, he plays much better at home compared to on the road. He averages an additional 3 points per game at home. So give me OG Anunoby over 15.5 points.
Taylor in the chat says, furthermore. Kind of use the Sia's line there. I like it. I like it. Now, was that Goose behind you, or was that Goose?
That was Goose, Coach.
The one and only. Oh, he's getting FOMO. Tell him it's only 5 months till football's back.
He's fired up.
Now, if I have Amags and the counselor left on a normal day, we know who would go last because he's earned it. But I've got confidence in the little engine that could. I've got confidence in the man that took a semi-shot at buckets earlier in the day. So Amags, hold tight for the first time ever. You get to earn your stripes. So Sia Nejad, if you don't mind, you're up next.
I'll tell you, Coach, furthermore does belong to Proppy. I'm the by the way guy. You all, of course, remember that specifically from our football show that we do every single week, which 5 months away. The good news is the NBA playoffs are so long and the NHL playoffs are so long that it's going to carry us through so long that we're only going to have about 2 months left until the preseason starts, which is pretty cool. My play here, we're going another first 5. I don't think I've lost one of these yet. I got to go back and make sure I'm right about that, but I'm pretty sure I haven't lost one yet. So let's ride it again. The Tampa Bay Rays first 5 minus 120. Now, I really don't want to buy into the Rays right now with that win streak going. That's not really why I'm playing this. I'll tell you why I'm playing it in a second, but I do want to point out that Taj Bradley, the Rays' number 1 prospect, is being called up today. He is pitching. He is, again, the number 1 prospect. He has a full complement of pitches, AAA, AA. He's done pretty well. He's replacing Zach Eflin, who's on the IL with some lower back tightness. But this isn't really a play on Taj Bradley as much as it is a fade on Chris Sale. He's pitched 8 innings so far. He's also, kind of like we mentioned with Rich Hill, kind of at the latter stages of his career. 8 innings so far, 10 earned runs. He's given things away. It's truly a sale on earned runs. You get a run. You get a run. It's full Oprah Winfrey style. You get a run. So this is, yes, I'm buying into Taj Bradley, even though he hasn't really pitched in the majors, or at least certainly not this season, but it's really more of a fade on Chris Sale and just a buy into the Rays in general. So I really like this play. And just a note on the Rays, $74 million payroll. The Yankees, just by contrast, they have the second highest payroll. Put a 2 in front of that $74 million and then add another $5 million, $278 million. We really need to tip our caps to the Tampa Bay Rays, not just this year, but every year. This is the best team in baseball if you factor in the value that they're spending versus the value that other teams are spending. It's unbelievable.
Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Dart says, Sia is simply awesome. I agree. There are levels to this game, and he just took it to another level. By the way, last night, if you're a SportsLine member, SportsLine told you to play the Rays, and they won again easily, and play the over in the same game. And both hit last night. And today, the first 5 is going to hit, and the full game is going to hit. You're welcome, America. Sia, thank you very much. Now, something I need to address in the chat very quickly. Guzzle money. Again, what has my career come to? He says, hustle, hustle. I'm late for a meeting. Get to the finish line. Guzzle money just for you. We'll do that. Excuse me. Sorry, I had to cough for a second. All right. We have arrived. And you know what they say, that whenever you get to do something for the first time, you never forget it. So, Amags, today is the first time, and everybody else on the screen has already experienced the rush, the joy, the phenomenal feeling of being in that final spot. And it only lasts until that ticket cashes or doesn't cash, whichever. So you, sir, I'm going to get out of the way. The floor is yours.
All right, Coach. Well, I love being in the maestro spot, and I'm going to kind of take Proppy's lead here. I'm going back up north, and I'm going to the Toronto Blue Jays and the Detroit Tigers today. I already saw it once in the chat. Wednesdays are usually a bit different for baseball, but this is a 4-game middle-of-the-week series, and I think that there's a lot riding on it for the Toronto Blue Jays. So I'm going to be taking Kevin Gausman, 6+ strikeouts, and the Blue Jays money line in the same game parlay. We did this on Saturday with Senga and the Mets, and I'm going to run it back here with the Blue Jays and Gausman. So first 2 starts for Gausman, he lasted 6 innings in each of them, and he had 7 strikeouts in each. One of those actually was against the Cardinals as well, so that was good there against a tough lineup that doesn't K a lot. But he's going to get this splitter back working today, I think. You know, it's more of a get-right spot for that pitch for him. It's highly used, but it hasn't been great this season. I think that he's going to come into his own with that pitch here today. And, you know, when you look at the other side of things, this Detroit Tigers lineup, really not all that impressive. And I'm kind of taking a shot here against Erod, who hasn't lasted too long in his starts, 5 1/3, 4 1/3, 4 2/3 there. It's not that I don't like him per se, but the bullpen is brutal. And I think that the Toronto Blue Jays lineup is, far too powerful really for the bullpen to have anything to do with. But even Erod, I think they can get him bounced early in the game. So I'm going to back that up there, like I said, with Coachman on the K's. I think he needs to get deep into this game for them. They don't have an off day until next Thursday. They're going to face the Rays and the Astros after this series against Detroit. They need to sweep this series, and they haven't had a start of 5 or more innings in 3 games here for the Blue Jays. So give me Gausman to go as deep as possible and to rack up those 6 strikeouts and take them the win.
Yeah, I tell you what, with the Orioles playing the way they're playing, the Yankees, Blue Jays cannot afford to have a slow start. They just cannot. Big Cheesy, line of the day, says Amags looks like a third base coach on a dominant Little League team. I agree with that.
I love that.
Yeah, that too. You kind of do. You're standing over the third base and you're yelling. Yeah. All the moms are like, look at him. Yeah, All right, grab your paper, grab your pencil. Here is the recap, courtesy of Jake the Snake on the 1s and the 2s. The counselor. I'm calling this One Pick Wednesday for my crew. Rays, first 5, money line, -120. Remember, there are 5-day games today that start before 6 p.m. Don't get shut out. M squared. You heard all the incredible information. Padres, team total over 3.5, -140. You want to get all of his stuff, all of Sia's stuff, all of Propstarz stuff? Only one place. Use the promo code early if you're brand new. I'll give you 30 days for free. After that, $10 a month. Stop it. You spent that this morning at the grocery store or at Starbucks. Anywhere else, you did that. Then Buckets. He's on a bounce back today, and I feel good about it. Real Madrid, money line, -140. His own section in the show, I will address that. Propstarz, Oju and Anobi, over 15.5 points, -115. And then Amags, little same-game parlay. Let's go Kevin Gausman. At least 6 Ks and the Blue Jays to win. -135, a really smart way to bring a number down because here in the early part of the season, there's been some gigantic -250. Last night, the Angels were -320. You got to find different ways to do it, and Amags just gave you a great way. A reminder, Early Wedge live in your feed right now. Early Edge in 5 at 4 p.m. Eastern time. We'll be all over CBS Sports HQ all day long. What do we always say? We grind for you so we can win with you. So with all that being said, there's only one thing left to do, and I believe you all know what that is. You've got your marching orders. Let's take all of these tickets straight to the pay window. For my entire crew, love them all. M Squared, Amags, the counselor, Propstarz, even Buckets. And, of course, the Snake, always in the back. He went to the Mets game last night, got home at 5 in the morning. Trains suck. And he's still here this morning for you. I am simply the coach, just trying to keep this train on the track. And we love it so much. And it's what we're all about right here at the Early Edge. Good luck.